Well, folks, 2024 has come and gone. From investigations of human rights abuses and corruption to investments in Georgia's infrastructure, support for our economic development, our veterans and military families, it's been another productive year for Georgia in the U.S. Senate.
Jon Ossoff is being praised for his bipartisan prison reform law by civil rights leaders. That bill was signed into law last week, and it's called the Federal Prison Oversight Act.
It's the most significant prison oversight and transparency legislation in many years.
Senator Jon Ossoff has released a scathing report on Georgia's Child Welfare Agency after a year-long bipartisan investigation.
The message in it is clear and it's urgent. Children in Georgia are dying, and it's going to keep happening if nothing changes.
A bill to protect children from online sexual exploitation has been signed into law. Senator Jon Ossoff's Bipartisan Report Act now requires websites and social media platforms to report crimes involving child sexual enticement.
Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff is demanding answers from the United States Postal Service.
36% of the mail is being delivered on time. You are failing abysmally in my state.
Across the state, Senator Jon Ossoff pulled together 34 members of Congress to launch a bipartisan push for agriculture disaster relief.
Some good news for Georgia farmers, courtesy of Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff.
Help is on the way for Georgia farmers hit hard by Hurricane Helene.
Following Category 5 Hurricane Michael in 2018, it took Congress 8 months to pass disaster assistance. This time, it took less than 90 days.
Senator Jon Ossoff introduced a bill to help Georgia families become homeowners. The Access to Homeownership Act would help renters buy homes by including their rent payment history to help boost their credit rating.
Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff is working to address the housing crisis in the state, and he is announcing federal resources that he's bringing to build new affordable housing for Clayton County.
I'm focused on expanding the availability of affordable housing in Metro Atlanta and across the state.
U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff from Georgia is visiting the southern border to reaffirm his call for border security.
Senator Ossoff's bill to crack down on fentanyl trafficking across the southern border has been signed into law.
Also happening today, Senator Jon Ossoff will announce new resources to address maternal health disparities.
The Port of Brunswick will receive upgrades at 2 of their berths and surrounding buildings at the port. This funding was made available through the bipartisan infrastructure law. Senator Ossoff announcing the news earlier today.
Jon Ossoff announcing a historic federal investment in the state's semiconductor manufacturing.
Jon Ossoff announced new drinking water infrastructure upgrades for families in rural areas.
$157 million is going to the construction of the Stitch, a 14-acre green space in development right over I-75, I-85 in downtown Atlanta.
U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff introduced new legislation to help attract more grocery stores to Georgia and, of course, support Georgia farmers at the same time.
Senator Jon Ossoff's working to protect family farms in the state. He introduced the Protecting Our Produce Act. The bill would create a 5-year program to support specialty crop farmers during market price drops.
Big changes are coming to military installations here in Georgia and across the country. U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff spearheaded the Military Facilities Upgrades Act.
U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff introducing a bill to help new parents in the military.
Now, new legislation could help veterans living in rural areas get the help they need to make transportation easier for those who may not live in the vicinity of the VA clinic.
Right now, Georgia veterans can access their records and benefits more quickly. This comes after a backlog of more than 400,000 records requests was recently cleared, thanks to a bipartisan law introduced by Senator Jon Ossoff.
It is a pleasure serving Georgia in the Senate, and whenever and however I can help you, just reach out to my team.